The world watches in fear as a familiar enemy rears its head. China battles an invisible foe. Hospitals are overwhelmed. The sick flood emergency rooms. Crematoriums work overtime. A surge of respiratory illnesses, led by HMPV, sweeps the nation. This isn't just another flu season. It's a stark reminder of our globalized world's fragility. The question is, are we paying attention? Human metapneumovirus, or HMPV, is not a new enemy. This common respiratory virus has been circulating among humans for decades, often causing mild cold-like symptoms. However, this time feels different. The virus appears to be striking with a vengeance, hitting harder and spreading faster than usual. This surge in HMPV cases is particularly alarming because it coincides with a rise in other respiratory illnesses, including influenza and COVID-19. This triple threat of viruses is creating a perfect storm, overwhelming healthcare systems and leaving populations vulnerable. Young children, the elderly, and individuals with weakened immune systems are at a higher risk of developing severe complications, including such illnesses as pneumonia and respiratory failure. Co-infections, where individuals are infected with multiple viruses simultaneously, are becoming increasingly common, leading to more severe illness and increased strain on healthcare resources. The reemergence of HMPV with such ferocity raises concerns about the long-term impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on our immune systems. Across the Pacific, the United States watches with a mix of apprehension and a sense of déjà vu. The scenes unfolding in China are eerily familiar, a stark reminder of the vulnerability of even the most advanced nations to the threat of infectious diseases. While the U.S. is geographically distant from China, it is not immune to the threat posed by HMPV and other circulating respiratory viruses. Several factors increase the likelihood of a similar crisis unfolding on American soil. One significant factor is the resumption of international travel. After years of pandemic-related restrictions, borders have reopened and people are once again on the move. While this is a positive development for many reasons, it also facilitates the rapid spread of infectious diseases. Viruses don't respect borders, and what starts as an outbreak in one part of the world can quickly escalate into a global crisis. Adding to the problem is the growing sense of complacency and pandemic fatigue among the American public. This creates an environment where preventative measures are often disregarded, increasing the risk of widespread transmission. The potential for a major respiratory illness outbreak in the U.S. extends far beyond health implications. It raises the specter of widespread supply chain disruptions affecting the economy and daily lives. The COVID-19 pandemic shined a light on the fragility of global supply chains. Widespread lockdowns and transportation disruptions led to shortages of essential goods. Now, another wave of illness threatens supply chains again. The situation in China serves as a stark reminder that we are living in an interconnected world, where an outbreak on one continent can quickly become a global concern. While the future remains uncertain, there are warning signs that we must heed, indicators that a similar crisis could be on the horizon for the United States. Recognizing these warning signs and understanding their significance is crucial to mitigating the impact of a potential outbreak. One of the most obvious warning signs is a surge in respiratory illnesses in our own communities. Keep an eye on local news reports and health advisories for information about increases in flu cases, RSV, or other respiratory viruses. Pay attention to reports from hospitals and healthcare providers, as they are often the first to notice an uptick in cases. Another red flag is an increase in school and business closures due to illness. If schools and businesses are forced to close because of a high number of sick students or employees, It could be a sign that a more widespread outbreak is underway. Be aware of any news regarding unusual or unexplained outbreaks of respiratory illness in your region or in other parts of the country. The consequences of inaction are dire if we fail to heed the warning signs and prepare for the potential of a major respiratory illness outbreak in the United States. We risk repeating the mistakes of the past with potentially even more devastating consequences. The healthcare system, already strained by years of the COVID-19 pandemic, could be pushed to the brink of collapse. Hospitals could be overrun with patients, leading to shortages of beds, medical supplies, and healthcare workers. The economic impact could be equally severe. Widespread illness could lead to business closures, job losses, and a significant decline in economic activity. Supply chain disruptions could result in shortages of food, medicine, and other essential goods, leading to panic, unrest, and social upheaval. Beyond the immediate health and economic consequences, a major outbreak could have a profound psychological impact on the nation. The fear, uncertainty, and social isolation experienced during the COVID-19 pandemic could return with a vengeance, eroding trust in institutions and exacerbating existing social divisions. While the future may seem uncertain, one thing is clear: preparedness is our best defense against the unknown. By taking proactive steps now, we can mitigate the impact of a potential crisis and protect ourselves, our families, and our communities. Preparedness is not about panicking, it's about taking sensible precautions and being ready to adapt to changing circumstances. Start by creating a household emergency plan. This plan should include things like identifying a safe room in your home, establishing communication protocols with family members, and knowing the location of important documents. Make sure everyone in your household understands the plan and knows what to do in case of an emergency. Next, make sure you assemble a well-stocked emergency kit. This kit should contain enough food, water, and other essential supplies to last your household for at least 3 days. Include items like non-perishable food, bottled water, a first aid kit, medications, flashlights, batteries, a hand crank radio, and sanitation supplies. Consider your specific needs and those of your family members when assembling your kit. Preparedness is not just an individual responsibility, it's a collective effort. Building resilient communities requires collaboration, communication, and a shared sense of purpose. By working together, we can create support networks, share resources, and ensure that everyone is prepared for whatever the future may hold. Connect with your neighbors and community members. Organize neighborhood meetings to discuss emergency preparedness plans and identify vulnerable individuals who may need assistance. Consider forming a neighborhood watch group to enhance security and communication during a crisis. Support local organizations and initiatives that are working to improve community resilience. Advocate for policies and initiatives that promote public health and safety. The warning signs are flashing. The world is watching, holding its breath as a familiar crisis unfolds in a distant land. We cannot afford to be complacent. The time for action is now. We must heed the lessons of the past, learn from the present, and act decisively to safeguard our future. This is not a time for fear or despair. This is a time for resolve, for unity, and for action. Now take a second to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss a single survival video. Also like this video and give it a thumbs up. So, what's your opinion of the viruses that are surely coming our way again? I know I've got mixed reactions because I do feel that last time the lockdowns really didn't help much, but I'd love to see your opinion and read what your thoughts are. Just put them in the comments below, even if it's a quick note. Why not run over to our site at survivalcavefood.com and grab some of our delicious pre-cooked canned meats with 5 varieties, or just add water meal buckets. It's a great start for your preparations. Let us use this time as an opportunity to really come together as a nation to strengthen our communities and to build a more resilient future for ourselves and for generations to come. We have the knowledge, the resources, and the collective will to meet this challenge head on. Let us choose wisely.